Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be a good old you versus them deep dive. Just before I get into it, I have a little message for my Tokyo friends. On March 19th, I'm going to be DJing at OR, which is a venue in Shibuya. It's actually in Miyashita Park. It looks really cool. It's like a cafe slash art gallery during the day, and then it turns into a club at night. And there's 3 different floors. So at this event, there's gonna be like house, tech house, and techno, and I'm gonna be on the tech house floor. My set is a bit later into the night, but I'm gonna be there from the event's opening time. So whether you wanna stick around and watch my set or just come and say hi at an earlier time, I will be there. And I have to say that after doing a few gigs and getting the opportunity to meet some of you, it's made me so happy. Like, you guys are so cool, and I know that there's some of you who feel like we would be friends in real life, and you're probably right, because everybody I've met from doing these gigs is amazing. So if you live in Tokyo, or if you happen to be in Tokyo on March 39, that's not a thing. March 19, and you think you may be interested in stopping by, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I will have it linked down below, and I will share the event details with you. I love playing tech house, and I'm so excited. I'm actually working on a remix right now. I don't know if it's gonna be ready in time to play on that day because I suck at mixing. Let me not say that. I'm pretty okay at it, but I could be more efficient. Anyway, that is enough yapping about me, and now it is time to yap about you and them. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love. And now let's get on to the reading. Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be a deep dive where we are looking into the current energies between you and someone else. This can be any person who is on your mind, and I hope that this reading will bring some confirmation or some clarity to you. There is going to be a section at the end where, after we look at the current energies, we'll also see a likely outcome based on the current energies and get some advice from your spirit guides. My intention for this reading is that it can be for any type of connection. However, I don't know what the energies are going to be until I actually get into the reading. So if it does seem like things are going in a romantic direction, I will be sure to make that clear as soon as possible, so that if you're not asking about that type of connection, you can choose a different group. Sometimes it's just like one random romantic message that is coming through. And in that case, I can provide a timestamp for you to just skip that message and get back to the normal messages. But yeah, we just have to see once we get into it. So anyway, let's get into your option selection. There are 3 groups to choose from today. With each reading, we're going to be using a different tarot deck, and I've also placed a different crystal on top of each to help you pick. And I will be showing you a random card from each deck so you can get a sense for what the artwork looks like. I just shuffled each deck, and whatever card came out is the one I'm going to show you. And I already forget what they are because I prepared this a few days ago. So I'm going to be just as surprised as you are when we reveal the cards. But without further ado, let's get a close-up look at each of your options. For my group number 1s, we have this pink amethyst, and we're going to be using the Crow Tarot. And your card is the Lovers. For my group number 2s, we have this Chrysocolla moon, and we're going to be using the Dive to You Tarot. And your card is the 7 of Cups. And for my group number 3s, we have this Larimar, and we're going to be using the Animal Tarot. And your card is the 3 of Wands. Okay, so just in case you need a bit more time to pick, here are all of your options laid out side by side so that you can compare them and see which one is calling to you the most. As always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the pink amethyst and the crow tarot, which we'll be using a little bit later, this is going to be your reading. So here is our breakdown of today's reading. With the cards here, we are going to do a spread with your cards on this side, the other person's cards on this side, and the energy between the two of you will be in the middle. We are going to look at your energy, your experience of this connection, your thoughts and feelings towards them, and then vice versa. Their energy, their experience of the connection, and their thoughts and feelings towards you. Then we are going to see the current potential that exists between you and them. We're going to see your next steps in this connection and their next steps and see who will be initiating. Did you just bark? Okay. You can come up on the chair with mommy. Yumi says hi. Okay, so where was I? Then we are going to see the likely outcome between you and your person, and then we're going to get some advice from your spirit guides. So that's how the reading is going to go. There is going to be an extended, but I just wrote TBD because I want to see what messages come up for you, and then we will base the extended reading off of that. So I will get back to you at the end of this reading what we're gonna look at over there. So thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. All right, I'm gonna put your cards on this side and their cards on this side. So for your energy, we have Justice. For your experience of the connection, and I just saw 222 when I said that, we have Neptune. For your thoughts and feelings toward them, we have Love is not always obvious. For their energy, we have the Seven of Swords. For their experience of the connection, we have Venus. And for their thoughts and feelings towards you, we have New Journey. And finally, for the potential between the two of you, we have the Leopard with the keyword Wisdom. And we have Present, mindfulness, silence, meditate, breathe. Okay, numbers that are present here that could be confirmation for some of you. We have 11, 12, and 7. Zodiac signs that are present here, we have Libra, Aquarius, Pisces could be significant too. They don't have to be, but this could be confirmation for some of you. So let's get into it. One of the first things I'm noticing is that both of you have come through as an air card. So the fact that you're coming through as the same element, this could be an indicator of harmony between you and this person, or there is potential for harmony. It could also be indicating that you have a good mental compatibility or intellectual compatibility, I could say. At this stage, you may be the one who is making this connection more of a priority in your life compared to the other person. And I'm also seeing kind of a key difference between the two of you where I feel like you are more committed to showing up as your most authentic self and always being honest and always seeking to show your truth, whereas they may still be kind of hiding their truth. And in general, they may just be the type of person who is more okay with doing that. I feel like a difference between you could be that because justice is the card of like truth and integrity and like who's really committed to doing the right thing. So I feel like you might have more of a honesty is the best policy kind of philosophy, whereas they might be someone who's kind of okay with hiding certain information or being a bit more strategic in the way they present information in order to get a certain outcome. Their experience of the connection is represented by Venus. So this is a very straightforward message that this person likes you, wants to have you around, wants to have you in their life. And so if I put these two energies together, what we may be seeing here is a person who sometimes feels like they need to be inauthentic in order to keep what's important to them. This may be something that they just learned somewhere along the line. Like if I told this person how I really felt, or if I showed this person my whole truth, then I would lose them or they wouldn't like me as much anymore. So they just may be more the type of person who wears a mask in order to be perceived in a certain way. Whereas I feel like you don't do that, or for some of you it could be like you can't do that. Like you literally can't be inauthentic because you don't know how. You always just show up as your honest self. You couldn't wear a mask if you tried, or it may just kind of go against your values. Like you seem more of the person who's like, I'm going to be my authentic self, and if you like it, great, and if you don't, then good, then I know that we're not in alignment. So that difference could present a challenge in the connection, or sometimes you just may have trouble understanding each other, like understanding the reasons behind each other's behavior. Your experience of the connection is coming through as Neptune. This could be indicating that sometimes this connection has been confusing, which I think would make sense based on them coming through as the Seven of Swords. And I also feel like with Neptune, you could sometimes idealize this person or idealize a certain aspect of their life or something they have. Some of you could be idealizing like the potential of the relationship and what it can do for you. Also, I remember I saw 222 when this Neptune card came out. So you may kind of feel there's like a spiritual aspect to this connection. You may have big hopes and dreams for this connection, and like sometimes you wonder if they are really grounded in reality. Yeah, the more I sit with this energy and look at the cards, I definitely feel like this person's behavior towards you has been confusing. We have love is not always obvious for your thoughts and feelings towards them. So I feel like you aren't always sure what you mean to this person, but I do feel like you try to give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, like, oh, I'm sure they do care about me and they just have this or that going on, or maybe they just have a way of showing love and care that is different from my way of showing it that I'm not really used to. It's like you try to understand them, but you're kind of operating in this connection in different ways. And it's just like a difference in how you've learned to show up. I feel like you've learned in order to keep what's important to me, I must be always like open and honest and share my truth. Whereas they've learned somewhere along the line, in order to keep what's important to me, I have to hide certain aspects of my truth and like be strategic. I don't know what it is, but they have more of like a strategic or calculated kind of side to them. Like if I say this, this, and this to this person, then they will like me. Whereas I feel like you just speak your truth. And I don't get the sense that this is like a malicious trait of theirs. It may come from insecurity, or they feel like they have to do that even though that's not the case. Because even look at how this came out. The Seven of Swords bear is like looking at Venus. So they're like, this is something I have to do because this connection is important to me, or like because I want group one to like me. I really feel like this other person could still be kind of wearing a mask in the connection. And it's interesting, like I say still, they're still wearing a mask, which implies that at some point it is gonna come off or it can come off, but maybe they don't have the courage to do that yet. It's interesting too, their thoughts and feelings towards you are represented by the card New Journey. So there's definitely some feelings coming up that they've never experienced before in a connection. Like I really do feel like the connection with you feels like new and fresh to them, and I feel like it's exciting. They've never met someone like you before, or they've never felt this way before. And I also feel like you could be inspiring them to think more about what they want out of the next era of their life, or who they want to be in this next era of their life. Like you have them thinking about the future. So there's definitely overall like mutual positive feelings, but there's a difference in the way you show up in the connection that I think is kind of causing confusion. And I kind of wonder if, like, how do I describe it? You could both be making assumptions that you're showing up in the same way, and that's what's causing confusion. So like if they're the type of person to wear a mask, they might just assume that you are doing the same. And so your like radical authenticity is confusing them. And then you're assuming that they're showing up authentically because that's what you do. And so they're wearing a mask is confusing you. I'm hearing like it may be kind of hard to get a direct answer from this person. Like when you're asking them what they want, they'll say like, well, I think we want this and this, or I think I should do this and this. I think this person wants this, this, and this. And it's like, no, I'm asking you. Like I'm asking you what you want. So they could be kind of indirect when it comes to expressing like their individual preferences and their individual intentions. I just heard it's like pulling teeth. Maybe that's just for some of you. It could feel like pulling teeth to get a straight answer out of this person. And I feel like it's some uneasiness on their end that comes from being direct. I almost wonder if at some point in their life they were kind of punished for being too honest or too straightforward. Like it was seen as them being too much, or like being selfish or being blunt or something. And so now it could even just be an energy where they're like beating around the bush or people pleasing or something like that. And it's like a protective strategy, but I feel like that could be creating some barriers when it comes to building like meaningful trust and meaningful intimacy with this person. And could be especially confusing to someone like you who seems to be really committed to like truth and authenticity. However, in the middle here, we have wisdom and like presence. So there is definitely the potential for you and them to open up to each other and to really start to understand each other. No, cheetah's the one that's fast. Are leopards fast too? Probably. I don't know, but I feel like there's definitely no rush. Like when I look at this flower, this feels like a soft unfolding that can happen between the two of you in stillness, rather than like pushing and trying, like I'm just trying to understand you. I feel like the key is to just detach and kind of let each other reveal, how do I say that? Let each other reveal yourselves to each other. You know what I mean? Your true essences will reveal themselves over time. All right, so let's get into the tarot deck that you guys chose. I think I'm just gonna move these up. I'm tasting energy drink right now. You know, like, I feel like all energy drinks have that distinct flavor. I don't know what it is. I wonder if that's literal, like one of you drinks energy drinks, or maybe you energize each other or something. I don't know. Okay, so let's see what your next steps are. We have strength, but it came out in reverse. And we have, okay, yeah, I think we're not going to do reversals. So your next steps are strength and Wheel of Fortune. Their next steps are Knight of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. So in terms of who would be initiating the next steps, it definitely seems like it would be you. However, I don't necessarily feel like a specific action is being asked of you at a certain time. Because your cards are very much giving the energy of like, you will know when the time is right. There will be an opportunity for you to say something that feels organic. It's funny, I was just talking about this in one of the readings for, you know, like our monthly readings. I just did the one for March a few days ago, and there was a group that had this exact message. It was group 3, so let me know if you happened to see that group. That would be interesting. It was like, you know, you need to have a conversation, but it's not like you have to reach out to them out of nowhere and be like, hey, we need to talk, or hey, I have something I want to say to you. It's not like you have to create the opportunity for this conversation to be had. It's more like the universe is saying to you, I will set it up for you. The Wheel of Fortune feels like divine orchestration. It feels like destiny, or like the universe working in your favor. So this is the universe saying, I will set up the perfect opportunity for you so that whatever it is you've been wanting to say can come forward in the most like organic way. All you need to do is recognize when I give you that cue. And like maybe the universe is going to give you some kind of sign, or just the way the situation is set up. It's like so obvious. Okay, the universe orchestrated this for me as the perfect opportunity to say what I want to say. And with strength here, I feel like this is something you've been wanting to say to this person for quite some time. And I feel like, you know, the crow is like sitting on the lion's mouth, and it looks like it's trying to keep the lion's mouth shut. So I do feel like there is some higher part of you, like your higher self, who has been kind of holding you back, but that's divinely guided. I feel like the lesson here is not like, muster up your courage and blurt out the thing right now, take action right now. That's not really it. The lesson is more like, hold the message sacred to you and trust that the universe is going to create an opportunity for you to say this. I'm hearing like in a way that makes sense in the context. So maybe there's something that you want to say to this person, but if you were to just for example, like if you were just to reach out right now and say it, it might come across as like super random and like out of context and like, why are you telling me this now kind of thing. I just saw 2121, by the way, so that could be a significant number. So maybe you need certain circumstances, or there's like a certain time and place, a certain way that is the best way to convey this message. And the universe is like, don't worry, I got you. Like, I'm going to create the exact scenario where you can speak what's on your mind with ease. And so I feel like your only job is to recognize when you are in that scenario. Like, oh, this is the scenario that the universe crafted for me. And this is my chance to speak. Yeah. And we have the 9 of Cups on your person's side. So it seems that in some way, whatever you're saying is what they wanted to hear. That's one interpretation of this. Whatever you have to say is what they wanted to hear. Or they're very grateful that you said this. Like, they're very grateful that you opened up to them. Or another way of interpreting this is that you're speaking up and telling them this leads to an outcome that is favorable for them and for both of you. Feel free to claim all of those interpretations, but it's definitely going to lead to a positive outcome. Not right away with this Knight of Pentacles, because I feel like whatever you are saying to them, it's something that then needs to be put into action. It's something that needs to be put into practice, and it will take some time and consistency before what you say becomes a reality. So, like, let's say you told them, I want to see you more often. Just a very simple example, right? You can't know that that's become a reality until some time has gone by and there's been some consistency in you seeing each other, and there's been consistent efforts made to see each other more frequently. So the energy may not feel super light and happy right after this conversation is had, but it's once you put what you talked about into action and enough time has passed that you can see like, okay, we're really serious about following through with the things we talked about. So whatever you're speaking about, like what you want to happen or changes you want to see, or just what's in your heart, it does feel like they agree and they're happy that you told them. But you also need to see it in action before you can like really be happy and celebrate. I think that's what these cards are saying together. So I'm gonna look at the bottom of the deck for the outcome, and we have the Tower. And for the advice from your spirit guides, we have the Magician. There's a lot of major arcana showing up here. Like, we have 8 tarot cards and 5 of them are major arcana, which is kind of crazy. Like, that's more than half. So I definitely feel like there's a lot of divine orchestration in this connection. And also this is probably just like a very significant connection to you, like someone who's really important in your life. I feel like the Magician here is your guide saying, remember how powerful you are, and remember the power that your words have. I feel like this is their reminder to you in your ability to manifest and your ability to literally speak things into existence. Your words are very powerful, but remember that it's not just about the literal words that you're saying, it's about the energy and the frequency that they carry. You know, 2 people could give you the exact same compliment, but it only really hits from one person, and that's because of the energy that is behind it. So I remember the power of your words, but also don't get so caught up in like, what's the best way to phrase this? Like, what's the best words to use? Because at the end of the day, it's your energy and your frequency that's doing like 90% of the work, and that is going to do the heavy lifting for these words to land in a certain way. So trust in your ability to get your point across. I'm also hearing I said what I said. So, okay, now I'm seeing a scenario where you're sending a message to this person that it could be actually quite a long message. And then after you send it, you're like reading it over and over again. Like, did I say the right word? Maybe I could have said XYZ differently. And your guides are saying like, you have to trust, as long as if what you truly feel was conveyed, then you did a perfect job. And stressing about like, oh, I should have said this differently, I should have said that differently, is not productive. I'm literally hearing like, you need to trust that you executed this perfectly and that you did everything that you could do. What is this tower referring to? At the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Pentacles. I feel like for a lot of you, what you need to say to this person has to do with the reciprocity of your connection or the lack thereof. So some of you could be like very directly telling them that you feel a lack of reciprocity, or very directly telling them like how important reciprocity is to you. And it feels kind of vulnerable as I sit with this energy. It could also be that like whatever you're saying to them, how they choose to respond would be extremely telling of how ready they are to reciprocate. And I feel like the tower here has this feeling of, I'm putting it all on the line. The tower kind of reminds me, I don't know if this is like an expression or a quote. It's just something I hear people say. It's like, if something could be destroyed by the truth, then it should be. Because that's just proof that it was built on a lie. Like if something's gonna collapse under truth, then it was built on a lie, basically. And that's very interesting when we think about how your energy has appeared in this reading. Like, honesty is the best policy. I'm committed to sharing my truth. So it's almost like this feeling of, if sharing my truth would break this connection, then it should be broken. Otherwise, that means that this connection is being propped up by inauthenticity. And like, why would I want to be in that kind of connection? So yeah, I feel like this tower is saying you're willing to put it all on the line kind of thing. And it's not, at this point, it's not about the outcome, because, and that's like, honestly, that's the difference between the two of you. I feel like when you speak, it's because you're committed to authenticity. When they speak, it's because they're trying to calculate the outcome. Like, I feel like in your energy, it's like, I don't care what the outcome is, because that's not the point. I'm not saying this because I want a certain outcome. I'm saying this because I owe it to myself to speak my truth. And whatever happens as a result of me speaking my truth, I know that's what was meant to happen. Because as long as I'm in my truth, I'm in alignment. So whatever outcome happens from this is the outcome that's in alignment, and like for my highest good. Makes things very simple. Whereas I feel like they're in this more kind of like strategic energy, you know, like I want XYZ. So what can I say to make sure that I secure XYZ? And again, this doesn't have to be like a malicious thing. I think it's something that we do out of fear, out of not trusting that the universe has our best interests at heart, and that as long as we're living in our truth, we can never go wrong. Like, it takes trust to get to that place. And I feel like this other person is just not there yet. And if I'm being honest, like with the tower here, there could be an aspect of you sharing your unfiltered truth with this person, that does kind of shake the connection. But they're happy that you told them. They're happy that you shared your truth. So I do think that they're going to receive your words positively. But remember that I feel like another piece of advice from your guides is like, yes, they're going to respond positively to what you say, but kind of take it with a grain of salt, because you need to see that they're actually going to follow through. So let's say you said to this person, hey, I feel like our connection needs to change in XYZ ways. And they're like, yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, you're so right. Like, yes, that's a good sign, but it also remains to be seen. Like, they need to actually show with their actions over time. So it's not going to be like an immediate relief after this conversation. You need to see that things have changed over time, and that's not something that you can see right away. And it's important that over time you're honest with yourself, because you do have Neptune over on your energy. And so sometimes you could, again, like I idealize this person or idealize the connection. Definitely look at their actual actions over things like, I don't know, like signs and synchronicities. I'm just thinking about how I saw 222 when I pulled this card. So if it's like, oh, they haven't followed through, but I did see 222, it's like, that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So yeah, Knight of Pentacles is very grounded, very practical. You have to look at their actions over time. So maybe it's like over the coming weeks, over the coming months, and really be honest with yourself when you're assessing, like, have things changed? Have things progressed? And that will be, of course, that will be your call to make. But yeah, your guides are definitely advising, like, look at what's happening here on the ground. Like, can you actually see a concrete difference in what's playing out in this connection? And if the answer is no, then it may be time to move on. And if the answer is yes, then there is no problem, and that's beautiful. So, okay, so this is what we're going to look at in the extended. We are going to see what goes through their mind when they see you or when they talk to you. Have their feelings changed or evolved since first meeting you? And if so, how? And then we'll also look at any time frames, places, as well as signs that could be significant to this connection. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, that's going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. There will be an option to watch just this one reading, and there will also be an option for a monthly membership where you can watch all of the extendeds that go up every month. If you are considering a membership option, just make sure that you read the description of each membership level so you know exactly what you're getting. But I'm super grateful to everyone who considers that option. If you're going to leave the reading here, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram, my memberships, which I just mentioned. You can watch all of the extendeds over there, and you can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings for the members. I will link my music channel down below. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And if you happen to be in Tokyo on March 19th, you can come see me at OR Tokyo in Shibuya. I'm going to be DJing there and just hanging out there before and after my set. So if you wanted to come say hi, you can send me a DM for the event details. Thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, your person, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number twos. So if you guys chose the Chrysocolla moon and the Dive to You Tarot, which we'll be using a little bit later. This is going to be your reading. So here is the full breakdown of today's reading. We are going to use these cards to look at the energies between you and the person on your mind. So we'll see your energy, your experience of the connection, and your thoughts and feelings towards them, and then vice versa, their energy, their experience of the connection, and their thoughts and feelings towards you. We will also see the current potential that exists between you and them. And then we're going to see your next steps, their next steps, and who is going to be the one to initiate. We'll see a likely outcome between the two of you, and we will also get some advice from your spirit guides for moving forward in this connection. And then there's going to be an extended today, but I just wrote TBD for now because we will decide what we're going to dive into in the extended once we uncover the messages here. So it's going to be personalized for your unique connection. And yes, that is everything for the breakdown. So thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. I'm going to put your cards over here, their cards over here, and then the cards in the middle will represent your potential together. So your energy is coming through as the Lovers. Your experience of the connection. Oh gosh, I don't know how to pronounce this. Ceres? I don't know. I just know it's an asteroid. And your thoughts and feelings towards them. I just need a sign. Their energy is coming through as the Hanged Man. Their experience of the connection is coming through as Waxing Gibbous Moon. And I just saw 222. Their thoughts and feelings towards you. I create my reality. And for the potential between the two of you, we have the Key with number 33. That is interesting to me because when I was filming the intro and I was holding up your crystal and your card, I saw 333. So we're like only a couple minutes into the reading and we've already seen what did I see? 222 and repeating threes also. And we have transformation, rebirth, change, paradigm shift. Okay, so it looks like, oh, first of all, both of you guys have major arcana as your tarot cards. So I think there's a mutual feeling between both of you that like, oh, this is someone very special. And with the Lovers on your end, I wouldn't be surprised if you feel like spirit or a higher power has brought this person into your life. You may even recognize them as a soulmate or a member of your soul family. Like they are, I want to use the word pivotal, like a pivotal person in your life, or they came into your life at a pivotal time. I feel like there's mutual feelings between the two of you. And I feel quite happy and excited when I sit with your energy. Like, first of all, I just think you're really happy to know this person and you're really happy that they've come into your life and you're excited for what's to come, because I think that you can sense that you're going to do amazing things with this person, or you're going to build a wonderful relationship with them in this lifetime. And I do feel like you're quite nurtured and nourished by this connection. It's like this connection gives you energy. This connection gives you fuel. I feel like it's really a positive influence in your life. I feel like it gives you inspiration, whether that's like inspiration to live your life to the fullest, or inspiration to create, inspiration to work hard, inspiration to live and move through the world with love. Like, I feel like it just inspires you to be the best version of yourself. It seems like a really positive influence. Now, on their end, they are coming through as the Hanged Man. I just heard they're taking it all in. Okay, and that means they're processing. Okay, they're feeling a lot of things when it comes to you. I feel like meeting you, or could also be like a recent interaction that you've had, it opened some kind of floodgate for them. And there's just a lot of emotions rising to the surface. I also just heard that they are not all from this lifetime. So a lot of emotions just came up to the surface for them. And what I'm seeing is that they're not running from it. They're just sitting and taking it all in. And they're facing themselves. I just heard a phrase like they're looking their emotions in the eye. Okay, so they're like facing them head on. And in doing so, they are facing themselves. And they're taking time to process everything. I'm seeing a scenario now, and this could be something that has literally happened between the two of you, or it's kind of an analogy for the current energy of your connection. But I just saw a scenario where you sent them a very long message or a very like big important message, and then they saw it and just put their phone down, like they didn't respond. And it's not that they're ignoring you, it's that they understand the importance of this message and they don't want to respond in a half-assed way. Like I'm sure we do this when we receive messages from our friends or like people in our life where we're like, okay, I want to respond to this like properly when I have the time and the bandwidth and like really give it the energy it deserves. And so that could be something that's literally happened between you and this person. Or like I said, that could be an analogy for your connection where you have just given them some huge emotional awakening, but rather than responding right away, they need time to like take it all in and really like sit with what they're feeling and digest it because it's important to them and they don't want to come to you in this like half-baked way. So they're in an energy of processing emotions right now. I definitely feel that with them, and their experience of the connection is the waxing gibbous moon. So I definitely feel like their feelings for you are growing, and the place that they give you in their life is growing. The space you get in their head, in their heart is growing. Your energetic presence in their life is growing. Like it's all growing and they're just processing it. Maybe it's a lot for them. And I think I'm not saying anything that you don't know. Maybe they've openly told you this, like this is a lot for me and I'm just processing my emotions, or you've just intuitively picked up on it based in the way that they're behaving or the way that they're showing up. I do feel like you are a highly intuitive person, especially when it comes to them. I think you're always kind of picking up on subtle energies from them. And so from you, I do sense like patience. I'm smelling like burning firewood, which is a very nice calming smell. It's like that kind of warm, smoky, woody smell. I don't know, maybe, campfire is significant, or like a fireplace, a hearth. Doesn't that have to do with, wait, one of the asteroids has to do with a hearth. One second. Oh no, that was Vesta, my bad. I'm not very good at the asteroids, but yeah, Vesta is the asteroid that represents the hearth, home, family, and personal dedication in astrology. I was actually just looking into my Vesta sign recently because at the time that this is going up, there was just an eclipse that was trining my Vesta in my birth chart. So I was like looking into it. Maybe you want to look into your Vesta placement or your asteroid placements in general, possibly even some synastry that you might have, like with your asteroid and their personal planet, or their asteroid and your personal planet. By the way, my Vesta's in Cancer, in case you are curious. Okay, anyway, back to the reading. A little asteroid tangent there. I think from your energy, there's this like patience. You're patient, but you're also kind of anxious for something to happen. And I do think you are aware that this person's emotions towards you are growing, but there's kind of this anticipation of like, you know, they're growing, and at what point will that growth push you into action or inspire you to make a move? I feel like you're in an energy of either waiting for them to make a move, or like, I'll make a move, but I need a sign first. Like, I'll need a sign that it's okay to start moving towards you, or that it's time to start moving towards you. I just saw 1144 as well. So yeah, I feel like in your energy, you're very eager to move things forward, whereas like they need time to process. And I definitely feel like you respect that, but it's still like there's kind of like an anxious feeling or an anticipation on your end, which actually is coming through as very sweet. Now, for the energy between you, we have the key, and what I'm noticing is that the key is pointing this way. So the key looks like something that they are giving to you. I actually feel like through this Hanged Man energy that your person is currently in, this like processing that they're doing and being receptive to their emotions and giving themselves time to really digest them, they're gonna come out with some insights and some answers that will actually enlighten you as well. It's almost like this period of processing that they're going through benefits both of you, which is pretty cool. And transformation kind of speaks for itself. I feel like the phase that you and your person are in right now, when it comes to your connection, is definitely not your final form. There is going to be an evolution of your relationship here in this lifetime, and we'll definitely get into that when we start pulling the tarot cards. But it's also super cool that they have this I create my reality card in terms of their thoughts and feelings towards you. So this person could have quite literally manifested you. If the thoughts and feelings that you give them is I create my reality, that's kind of giving the feeling that you coming into their life is proof of that. So maybe you were their specific person, so to speak, you know, like when you manifest a specific person, they could have been manifesting you like that, or they were manifesting that someone like you enter their life. I definitely feel like they've manifested communication from you. So if you've ever like suddenly felt the urge to reach out to them, or you suddenly felt the urge to say something to them, part of that urge arising in you was probably them manifesting communication from you. And you were open to kind of riding that wave and being a part of their manifestation. So, wow, I like this energy. Also, this balloon is very cute, this yellow balloon. All right.
Series.
Series? You pronounce it series? Anyway, apparently the word cereal actually comes from this. Because it's like, I don't know, something about cereals. Wait, let me look up what it actually means. But it's probably something like, you know, nourishment, harvest, things like that, if I had to guess. I just know that mine is in Leo. Again, not that anyone cares what my asteroids are in, but Ceres astrology. Food, agriculture, nourishment, transitions in a female's life, nurturing motherhood and family relationships. Yeah, so that's what was making me intuitively feel like this connection provides nourishment and fuel for you and provides inspiration for you. And it's interesting that this also talks about transitions because we have this transformation card here. So there's definitely some exciting changes coming for you in this person. And I feel like my group number 2s, you can already sense that. There's like this buzzing energy around you. I feel like you have these feelings of excitement and anticipation. So let's see what your next steps are. In terms of zodiac signs, Gemini and Pisces could be significant. I also want to say Virgo and Scorpio. They don't have to be, but just for confirmation for some of you. I just heard this person is planning something for you. And then I got really emotional when that message hit. So they could be planning a gift for you or planning some kind of experience or event for you, something that they want to do with you. And it's taking time because they're planning it very carefully, really putting heart into it. Anything in this connection that's taking a long time is definitely because something of true quality is being produced or manifested. This is very much like a good things take time kind of energy. I also just saw the number 13 like flashing in my head. All right. So we're gonna pull a couple of cards to represent your next steps. We have the Ace of Pentacles. And we have the Magician. Beautiful. So you have 2 1 cards. And the Magician reminds me of this I create my reality with the little Mercury symbol. The Magician's also ruled by Mercury. Someone could have Mercury in an earth sign. That's super specific, but I feel like some of you guys could be manifesting money or manifesting a career opportunity. It literally looks like you're getting rich. Like, look at this person on the card holding all of this money. So I feel like your next steps may not necessarily be about moving towards this connection, but you may be called to focus on your career or focus on a business venture, or like manifesting something kind of in the more material realm of things that you want to manifest. And, you know, it's not just about the money or just about the material things, but what it represents. Because whatever it is you're manifesting here, it represents a leveled up version of you. And I think that in the next stage of your relationship with this person, you are showing up as a leveled up version. Maybe you are experiencing more material success. And again, it's not actually about the material things, but it's about the experiences that you have as a result of that, the lessons that you go through as a result of that, maybe the confidence that you gain, the people you meet, the self-concept that comes as a result of that. It's this all-encompassing like leveling up that you are going through. And one of the side effects of that just happens to be making more money, it seems. And your guides want you to know that. But yeah, there's like For example, you're like caterpillars right now, and it's like, the next time I see you, I'm gonna be a butterfly. Or when we move to the next level, it's gonna be as butterflies. That's kind of the vibe. So I think you're going through a big personal transformation, which results in you manifesting more abundance into your life and just feeling more confident, feeling more in charge of your life, feeling like a badass. Let's pull some cards to represent their next steps. Some of you could be changing your hair color. And I just say that because these two people have different colored hair. Also, there could be a big breakthrough moment in this connection in a different season, because she's wearing long sleeves and she's wearing a tank top. So I'm taking this very literally, but you know, like as I'm filming this right now, I'm dressed warm. I'm wearing like a sweatshirt and sweatpants. So if this were my reading, maybe it means something's gonna happen in summer when I'm like wearing less clothing. So, oh my gosh, that's such a weird message, but it maybe gives a hint of when something is gonna happen. You know, you're gonna have different clothes in your closet. You're gonna be dressing differently for different weather because it's a different season. And that's what I'll say about that. That's a hint from your guides. You could actually be going through like a physical transformation too. We said changing your hair, could be changing makeup, clothing. I also just heard for you, don't wait for permission to start. So it does seem like you're being called to start a new project or start a new venture or start working towards a new goal. And your guides are saying, don't wait for permission to change. Like, don't wait for permission to show up as a new version of yourself. Announce, this is who I am now. You don't need to wait for the world to give you permission to start expressing yourself differently. What are the next steps for your person? We have, are they proposing? Like, okay, let's keep going. So we have the Four of Wands and we have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, definitely they're the one to initiate the next steps in this connection. Now, when it comes to you, you're definitely not, you're not like moving on from this connection. You're just not moving towards it. This energy, like when I see people facing forwards in cards, it very much gives me this feeling of like, I'm not actively chasing you, but I do have space for you in my life and I'm leaving a door open. So I feel like that's the energy that you're in this next like stage of the journey. You're like, I'm focused on myself. I'm not ignoring the connection. I'm not trying to move on from it. If some thoughts or emotions come up, I sit with them. If thoughts of you come up, I enjoy the thoughts of you. I may dream of you from time to time. Like I'm open to the connection, but I'm not chasing it, or I'm not like forcing it to happen. And I think a lesson in your experience of the connection is to learn to sit with that discomfort of like, okay, feelings of excitement and anticipation are bubbling up for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean something's gonna happen tomorrow. That doesn't necessarily mean I have to take action right now. I can just let this emotion exist within me, and then I can let it pass. I feel like life right now and your higher self right now is really just calling for you to move forward. And I feel like this one energy, it's like focus on yourself, focus on your path, and trust your person. Like, trust that they're gonna find you, trust that they're gonna come forward at the perfect moment when they're ready. And it looks like when they do, they have a pretty tangible offer for you. We have the Four of Wands. There's some kind of proposal happening. I mean, I don't know for how many of you it's literally like I mean, that's not a ring. That's just a rose. So maybe it's like a will you be my partner kind of proposal. It could be will you marry me if that resonates for you. Feel free to claim that. But I think it's like a will you be my partner? Or it could even be something like asking you out. Just like will you take the next step with me? Will you consider me as a potential partner? Will you have this experience with me? Will you go to this place with me? Yeah, it kind of feels like an invitation. They're going to come forward with an invitation. There's also something coming through that no matter how like abundant and self-sufficient you would become, this person would still have an instinct to provide for you. Not because you can't provide for yourself, but they want to provide for you. They want to nurture you. They want to spoil you. Like, they can't help it. They can't help it. That's just like, it's in their system. They're going to be approaching you at a time where you have, oh, this is interesting. Okay, this is what just came through. There's a version of you, maybe this is you currently, or maybe it was a version of you in the past, that would have dropped everything for this person. Like, if they said, I want to see you on Friday, but you had things to do on Friday, you'd be like, I don't care, I'm dropping everything to see them. But the next version of you, like who you're evolving into, is not like that. Even if on the inside, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm dying to see them. When they ask to see you, you're like, let me check my schedule and I'll get back to you. It's like you're evolving into a version who's not so immediately available for them. Like, I'll drop everything, because you have your own stuff going on and you have your own priorities. And I actually think like that's going to feel really good. It feels really empowering. And also that's like a secure attachment. You know, I don't have to drop everything to see you right now because I know that you're not going to run away. I know, like, I trust in our relationship. I know that you're going to be here next week. I know that you're going to be here next month, and we will have time to connect with each other. So yeah, there's like less urgency. I could put it that way. You're approaching this connection or approaching like spending time with your person with less urgency and less pressure. And it just feels really good. It feels like growth. So yeah, this is very much an energy of like you doing your own thing, thriving in life, and then they're coming towards you with an invitation. It definitely seems, it is giving the vibe of asking you out, or if it's not that kind of relationship, it could be like they're asking you to go to some event with them or asking you to work on something with them, right? Like depending on the type of relationship this is, but it would require some kind of commitment, it feels like. For some of you, they're inviting you to their house, or they're inviting you into a place that's kind of like special access, you know, like a place that you wouldn't be able to go unless they personally invited you. So, I mean, that could also be like their office building, or a meeting room in their office building, or their studio, or some other thing. I just wanted to use the word venue, some venue or location that they have to grant you access to. You know, like if they ask you out to a restaurant, you don't need their access to get into a restaurant. That's like a very public place. So you could be seeing a more kind of private place or aspect of their life if you accept this invitation. Kind of like it's giving you get a backstage pass into my life. You get behind the scenes. That's what it is, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes into my life kind of vibe. You could be meeting their pet or meeting their like friends and family that not everybody gets to meet, getting to see more into their intimate life. So I think this invitation, it's more than just like a one-time invitation to a certain event or experience. It's symbolically, it's like I'm inviting you to witness a deeper level of my life. I'm inviting you to be more involved in my life. And I'm kind of humbling myself in doing that. Or maybe they're swallowing their pride in some way, or just showing this side of their life is more vulnerable. So yeah, they're definitely realizing after all this processing that they want you to be a bigger part of their life. And it's coming through very clearly, like, yes, you're leveling up a lot, like materially. This could be like professionally in business, something like that. But they view you and they treat you exactly the same before and after this transformation. So in no way is the message here like, you need to go through this transformation to be worthy of this connection. No, it's not like that at all. They think of you the same way before and after the transformation. It's more about who you become and the confidence that you develop in this process and how your self-concept changes. It's about you becoming a different person, and the material success is just a side effect of that. It's not the main point. That's like coming through very, very clearly. Yeah. Okay. So for the likely outcome at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles, and I see it looks like a cat's bum, and there's a dog on this card too. So I definitely think you're like getting to meet their pet. That would be awkward if they don't have a pet, but who knows? They could get one. Which that does give the feeling of spending time at their house or in a more intimate environment. I have seen people's pets other than at their house. Like when I took pole dancing classes, one of the instructors brought her dog and it was really cute. One time I got my nails done and the nail artist had a pet axolotl and it was just like in the salon. I don't know. Does this person have an animal? And are you meeting them? Or are they meeting your animal? I don't know, but an animal is present here. That could just be metaphorical of like, you're getting to see the more intimate sides of my life. You're getting to see a softer side of me. The King of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles is definitely giving me a feeling of getting to see each other regularly and enjoying like a really generous energy exchange. Like you're giving each other a lot of your energy, a lot of your time. I also just heard like people would pay big money for just a bit of your time. Maybe that has to do with your leveling up, and maybe you're becoming like an expert in something, or you're becoming highly sought after. But your time is precious and your person's time is precious, and you give so much of your like precious time and energy to each other. And so I think there's like a big mutual appreciation between the two of you. There's a lot of effort that gets put in by both of you. Like, we're gonna make time to see each other. And I also heard make time to celebrate special occasions. So you really are a big part of each other's lives. Like you celebrate milestones together. Maybe you're celebrating anniversaries together, or celebrating each other's birthdays, celebrating each other's successes. Like you make a point to do this frequently, no matter how busy things may get. This is the outcome that I'm seeing, like a really sturdy presence in each other's lives. I feel like both of you are probably manifesting wealth. If the outcome is the King of Pentacles, you have the Magician, they have I create my reality. So I feel like you're both big on manifestation. Maybe it's something that you do together, or at least like you share with each other what you're manifesting. And was there something else that I wanted to say about this King of Pentacles? I think that was everything. I don't know, if something else comes up, I'll let you know. But let's look at the card for advice from your guides. We have the Six of Cups. Look at this image, because wasn't I saying before, like they're planning something for you? And what do you see here? It looks like this person has planned a surprise for this person. They're planning something for you. They're planning something for you. Okay, if you have any feelings of frustration when it comes to this connection, this is what I want you to know. Things taking time is because something very beautiful is being prepared. So if you are getting frustrated with like waiting, it's important that you remember good things come to those who wait. And also, if there's anyone out there who gets frustrated because it seems like your guides don't give you information, or like readings don't give you the information you want, it could very well be because something is a surprise. It's like if you're asking someone like, come on, what did you get me for my birthday? Just tell me. And they're like, I'm not gonna tell you. You could be kind of having an exchange like that with your guides, where there's certain details about the future of this connection that they don't want to reveal yet, because it's like, it spoils the surprise and the excitement. And like, if you know everything before it happens, like what's the fun in that, you know? Some of the best things that have happened to me, like I never saw them in readings. I never knew to ask about them. Like I didn't conceive about them until they happened. You know, the best things are sometimes just things we don't know. And I know, like, you're excited, right? When I sit with your energy, I know you're excited and you want to know just because you're excited, but there's nothing you need to know in the sense of like, oh, look out for this. Like, look, you know, if you needed to know, your guides would tell you. And I feel like there's some things that are surprises. But what I can say is that this energy looks very nice. And I can say that your future is bright. Like, even just you as an individual, I know that your future is bright. And it's interesting too, like, there have been some messages about past lives, like emotions from your person's past life coming up. Maybe that's happening for you too. And this kind of soul connection. I think something else your guides would tell you is that you don't necessarily have to know all the ins and outs of your soul connection in order to have a fulfilling experience here on Earth. So maybe they're saying like, don't sweat what you don't know yet, or maybe they don't want to overwhelm you, because souls are a lot bigger than us and they can process a lot more. And I don't know. I'm sort of getting the feeling of someone looking for information while they wait, you know, like, for example, you're waiting to meet your future partner and then you're just watching like a million your next relationship readings, like, because you're excited, or like to pass the time while you wait. But it's like your guides are kind of saying like, it's too much information. maybe they're saying like, don't overwhelm yourself with all that information, and let some things be a surprise. And that's kind of funny, because I remember in the intro, the card that came out for you was the Seven of Cups, which feels very like overwhelmed, to like there's a lot going on. So yeah, come back to now, come back to you, and maybe there's a more productive use of your time. Maybe it's like I'm thinking of like, sometimes I'm scrolling on Instagram and I'll be watching a reel and the person will be like, get off your phone. And I'm like, you know what? That is so true. And then I get off my phone. So it's like, it's kind of ironic that like Instagram told me to get off Instagram. But maybe this is a reading saying like, put down that deck of cards and work on your business or like work on that project. You can use your time in a way that actually moves the plot forward and actually moves you closer to the moment you're waiting for, rather than sitting in one place, keep trying to get glimpses of the moment you're waiting for. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so this is what we're going to look at in the extended. How will they approach you? If you accept their invitation, what will happen, or what will you do together? And then we will see time frames, places, as well as any signs and synchronicities that are significant to this connection. So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me in the extended, that's going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. There will be an option to watch just this one reading, and there will also be an option for monthly memberships where you can watch all of the extendeds that go up every month. If you are considering the membership option, just make sure that you read the description of the different membership levels so you know exactly what you're getting. But I'm super grateful to everyone who considers that option. If you're going to leave the reading here, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram, my memberships, which I just mentioned. You can watch the extendeds that go up every month. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings for the members. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And if you happen to be in Tokyo on March 19th, you can come see me at Or Tokyo in Shibuya. I'm going to be DJing there and also hanging out there before and after my set. So if you want to come hang out and say hi, feel free to DM me and I will share the details with you. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and everything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your person, your higher selves, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Larimar and the Animal Tarot, which we're going to use a bit later, this is going to be your reading. So here is the full breakdown of today's reading. We're going to use these cards here to look at the you versus them energy. So first we're going to see your energy, your experience of the connection, and your thoughts and feelings towards them. Then we're going to see vice versa, their energy, their experience of the connection, and their thoughts and feelings towards you. We're also going to see the current potential that exists between the two of you. And then we're going to look into more like future energies and advice. So we're going to see your next steps as well as their next steps and who is going to be the one to initiate. Then we are going to see a likely outcome based on the current energies and finish with some advice from your spirit guides. There is going to be an extended today, but haven't decided what it's going to be yet. So when we get to the end of your reading, I'll write like a little list of the things we will go deeper on based on what we uncover in this part of the reading. So thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. So I'm going to put your cards on this side, their cards on this side, and the energy between the two of you will go in the middle. So you are coming up as the High Priestess. Your experience of the connection, waning crescent moon. Your thoughts and feelings towards them, it's coming very soon. Their energy is the Emperor. Their experience of the connection, 5th house. And their thoughts and feelings towards you, get up and try again. Then for the current potential between the two of you, oh, that's right. I prepared these pre-shuffled cards a while ago. And I remember when I was doing your group, you had a bunch of extra cards come out. So the other groups only had one from this deck and you guys got 3. So we have the home with the keyword belong. Whoa, okay. Okay, I'll tell you once I lay out all the cards. Then we have love, universal unconditional love, source. We have lovers, divine counterpart, chemistry, partnership. And we have allow, flow, trust, surrender. So there was a really cool synchronicity that happened when I was laying out the cards. When I revealed this home card, I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this in the middle and then like we'll have the numbers 2, 4, and 4. And as I was thinking that, the camera timer went to 2:44. So I was like thinking of a number and then like a second later, I saw that exact number. So that could be something that you're experiencing, or you will start to experience it as like a development with this person, or like a union with this person draws closer, where you think about something and then seconds later you see it. And it's just this like really strong confirmation that the universe is listening to you and responding. Ooh, that's so exciting. Okay, so, oh yeah, and then the other crazy thing is that you got extra cards here and you got love and lovers. So now this doesn't have to be a romantic connection, but if this person isn't someone you love or someone who's like linked to something you love, then this may not be your group. So feel free to choose a different group. But if this is someone you love, then you have probably found the right group. So let's get into it. Your energy is coming through loud and clear. And I feel like that's part of the message. I think first and foremost, my group 3s, you may need a confirmation that the universe, yeah, we were literally just talking about this, a confirmation that the universe hears you loud and clear. I feel like sometimes we can worry like, oh, what if the universe doesn't understand what I want? Or what if I'm like sending out conflicting messages to the universe? What if my frequency is confusing the universe and it doesn't know what to send me? Like if you're having any worries like that, I would like to put in my 2 cents to put those worries to rest, because I feel like the universe is understanding your frequency and the energy that you're putting out loud and clear. And it's not as confusing as you might think sometimes, because any kind of jumbly, noise from your mind does not actually affect your frequency, which is very clear and easy to understand for the universe. And I feel like you and the universe are on the same page right now. You and your higher self are on the same page right now. I really like that the High Priestess is the same color as the Larimar. And also this light blue water in the Allow card looks like the Larimar. So I feel like this light blue color could be significant for you, or the message of allowing could be particularly significant. And actually, the High Priestess, I feel like this is inviting you to step into your yin energy and step into a place of allowing. Maybe that's kind of your primary task, is a weird word. Your primary focus right now is to learn what that energy of allowing feels like and learn how to kind of step into it more easily. It requires trust and a feeling of safety with the universe to step into that energy, but maybe it requires that trust to know, like, the universe knows what I want, the universe knows my journey, the universe knows what I'm all about, so I can just sit back and allow. One thing with the High Priestess is that, she doesn't chase, she attracts. So you probably have this inner knowing that your desired outcome is coming very soon within this connection, but that you don't have to chase it. I feel like with the other person coming out as the Emperor, at least in this stage of the journey, they may be the one who is more taking the lead. Maybe at some point in the past, it was the other way around. But the High Priestess is a feminine energy and the Emperor is a masculine energy. Now, your actual genders are obviously irrelevant here. We're just talking about energies, but it could be indicating that you're more in a receptive energy at this stage in your journey, and they are in a more like seeking out, pursuing, acting kind of energy. The High Priestess also represents like an intuition and a deep knowing. So if we put those two messages together, that's very obvious. This is like a deep intuitive knowing that your desired outcome is coming very soon. We also have a waning crescent moon for your experience of the connection, and a waning crescent moon is about to become a new moon. So these also fit together really well. A new beginning is very close. An old cycle is almost finished, and a new era is almost among us in this connection. Now, if we look over at your person's energy, I would say they are definitely feeling motivated right now. There's quite a bit of fire energy for them. The Emperor is associated with fire. It's associated with the sign of Aries, which is very like action oriented. Obviously, Get Up and Try Again is action oriented. And then the 5th house is also associated with a fire sign, Leo. Fire signs and water signs could be significant to this group. They don't have to be, but that could be a confirmation for someone. I definitely feel like your person is ready to take some sort of action, and they could be coming out of a passive energy. There's this feeling coming through with them like they were waiting for something to happen and then they got sick of waiting. And so they said, okay, I'm going to take this into my own hands. They were waiting for their life to change in some way or waiting for a situation to change. And then it feels like frustration was bubbling up in them because of some kind of stagnation in their life. And then they remembered like they have the power to change something if they don't like it. And yeah, I feel like in this chapter of their life, they're definitely going to be more bold and taking charge. Reminding themselves who's boss, like reminding themselves that they are the boss of their own life. First, I was going to say reminding life who's boss, but no, it's really about reminding themselves. And then, of course, Get Up and Try Again has a feeling of they could be recovering from something that didn't go the way they wanted it to the first time. In some cases, I could take it literally, like they want to give things another shot with you. Obviously, that's not going to resonate for everybody's connection. But they've gotten like a second wind or renewed hope, renewed inspiration. I feel like their experience of the connection has been very inspiring, and I feel like you've ignited a passion in them. Maybe you've inspired them to give a dream of theirs another try. You inspired them to like try to become successful in an endeavor that, not that they failed in the past, but it didn't play out in the way that they wanted. In a way, you kind of helped to bring this person's spark back. That's what it feels like. You have helped to reconnect them to their spark and to their bold and daring side, and they have helped you reconnect to your intuitive side and your sensitive side and like your calm, quiet, like confidence and trust in the universe. Maybe they've helped you reconnect to your spiritual and psychic side as well. with this High Priestess energy. I just saw an equals sign. Maybe that's referencing like you and this person being equal counterparts. We did have the message of divine counterpart here, but I was seeing an equal sign and sort of focusing on the parallel lines of it all. So maybe there's a lot of parallels between your journey and their journey, or you progress at the same time, you know, your trajectories stay parallel. Maybe you have a similar life path or similar, life direction. Now, for your potential, we have home, belong, love, and lovers. So it's clear that you can find a sense of home and a sense of belonging together. We have this like family in the middle, which is very much reminding me of the Ten of Cups, the way they're kind of holding hands and then they have their arms outstretched in the air. So I feel like you have the potential to create an incredibly happy and emotionally fulfilling life with this person, and a prosperous life as well. Yeah, I'm seeing the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, like emotional and material needs being met. This family here could be literal, like this person could be a family member, they could be a soul family member, or depending on the nature of this connection, this could be someone that you start a family with, or maybe you already have. The seashell is jumping out at me because it's the same color again, like this light blue color. And themes of the sea, like Larimar looks like the sea, and then this allowing energy looks like the sea. Seashells, dolphins, these kind of aquatic symbols could be significant for you, or the beach could be significant in some way. You have also the potential to come together in a way that feels effortless. So I really feel like throughout the course of this journey, nothing needs to be forced. It's either going to be through allowing or inspired action. And there may even be a lesson unfolding in this connection, like learning not to force things, such that anytime you would try to force things along in this connection, it wouldn't work. It would not backfire. I want to be clear with that distinction. It just won't work. So like, you know, if you're walking along this journey with your person and you try to force it to move forward or force it to go faster, the universe is not going to punish you by like setting you back. If you try to force things, just the forcing will be futile. And when you're in more of an allowing energy, that's when things will really happen. And I feel like that's part of a lesson that is like embedded in this connection and in this journey. Learning to trust the process, learning to enjoy the journey. I'm hearing something like you're on a scenic route with this person, and the journey will be enjoyable if you slow down and if you look at what's happening around you. Flow, trust, surrender. They're planning to get up and try again with something, and I feel like you can sense that. You can feel like some comeback, some second wave, I want to say, is happening on their side. And I feel like you're ready for it. Interesting. Okay, so let's get into your tarot. So we're gonna pull a couple of cards to see your next steps. We have the Ace of Swords. And the Two of Pentacles. Oh, wow. That's so cool. So the keywords on these cards are like clarity and flexibility. I feel like you are in the perfect place energetically right now, because Your frequency is clear, but it's also flexible. So you have provided, I want to say you've provided very clear instructions to the universe about what it is that you wish to experience. But at the same time, you're not being so rigid with them that it doesn't give the universe space to like create. You know, the universe needs this like space and softness and trust to create. And I feel like you're providing both like excellent clarity and that, I don't know why I'm doing this, flexibility, softness, allowingness. This is interesting because I'm pulling these cards for the next steps, but I feel like you've already taken the next steps. Like you've gotten your inner world in order. You've maybe also become very clear and honest with yourself about what it is that you desire. I do think for a tangible next step in the 3D, you may have to make a decision soon about what it is that you want to prioritize. What your heart truly wants to prioritize just so happens to be the path that would most easily lead you to union with this person. However, you don't really need to consider that as a factor because it's just going to happen naturally. Your person's next steps. We have Justice. And we have the Six of Swords. Okay. Your person... Okay. It feels like you might be the one to initiate in the next stage, but I have to be clear here. It's not for a lack of your person wanting to. There is an action that your person wants to take, but they have some other like responsibilities and commitments. This is just one example to illustrate the energy. It's probably not going to be literal for most of you, but let's say you live far away from each other and your person, like in their heart, they're like, I would drive over to you in a heartbeat, or like I would fly over to you in a heartbeat. However, I have my job over here. Like I have this thing here that I have to show up to, or I have these commitments and responsibilities in my life. And as such, I have to behave in a certain way and I have to be available at certain times to certain people and like blah, 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 like all of these things. For some of you, there could be legal things involved. For example, like a visa or some kind of contract where they're like, I have to stay where I am for this amount of time until the contract ends. I'm also seeing an example where, let's say you met this person and it was like love at first sight, you fell in love, and they're like, oh, but I already signed this contract before I met you that I have to go to this place for work for a year and like I can't undo it now. So there's something that they're tied to that can't really be undone until it's run its course, like until the time naturally runs out. Something else I'm noticing is that in this deck, The Six of Swords is in a desert, which is unique because usually we would see a boat going over the water. So there's more of a dry, a dry feeling with it, like an absence of emotion. So they could be legally or otherwise tied to a situation that doesn't really give them anything, that doesn't really inspire them. It feels like something they agreed to when circumstances were different or before they met you, or I don't know. But it's a situation that has dried up. But in some level, you have given them a spark, you've given them inspiration, you've brought color to their life, you've given them something that they haven't felt in a long time. And I think it sounds kind of cheesy, but like just knowing you exist, and just knowing that you're thinking about them, maybe in some cases knowing that you're waiting for them, I feel like that gives them a lot of strength. And maybe this get up and try again, I could also interpret it more broadly in the sense of like they're not going to give up on you, and they're not going to give up on being together with you or entering into the partnership with you in the way that you both really want to. There's also something coming through, like this person kind of has two sides to them, or two lives, or I don't know. Like, to use myself as an example, I spent many years going back and forth between Japan and Canada. So it's like, you know, I'm still the same me, but it's like I have a whole life in Japan and I also have a whole life in Canada. Maybe they have like a public life and a private life, or yeah, there's different things that they have to consider. Why do I want to say they're in like a sticky situation? And maybe they don't want to involve you in the stickiness. But it seems like the way they feel about you has not changed, and it's not going to change, and they're not going to give up on being with you or like partnering with you in the way that you guys want to be together. Now, with that being said, I definitely don't think this is the universe like telling you to take action. I think it's more the universe asking you to be open to take inspired action when the inspiration hits. What bird is this? This is a hawk. And I was gonna say like the hawk is perched on a high up place, and I know that cats like to, you know, climb up and sit on high up places. My cat Jasper used to sleep like on top of the TV because there was like a shelving unit, and he would jump up there. And then when he was old and he couldn't jump anymore, we built him a ramp. He would climb up to sleep up there in a baby doll bed that he claimed for his own. Anyway, I miss Jasper. But what I was gonna say is that both of these animals like perch atop high places, and you can see there's lightning coming down from the sky. So I feel like advice from your guides is to zoom out from the current obstacles and remember like the big picture of this connection and the love that's between the two of you. And I'm hearing, and this is not to minimize what you may be going through right now, but I'm hearing that like in the long term, this will be just a blip in the vast long term of your journey together. Any obstacles that you may be experiencing right now. I had, not to make this about me, I just keep thinking of examples that I can relate to. There were quite a few obstacles when it came to being with my husband, and when we were like in the thick of it, it really felt like you can't see the end, but now everything's so far behind us that it's like, you just kind of forget about it, and it's just a little bump in the road in the grand scheme of things. And I feel that energy for you as well. And so I think the advice is to like zoom out and I want to say like stay high vibe, but I just mean like stay open to receiving the bigger plan and stay open to receiving guidance from the universe, because she will whisper to you. She will nudge you when it's time to take inspired action. And it may not even be like, oh, reach out to your person, or oh, say this to your person. It may be some other inspired action that in an indirect way facilitates your union, that you'll only see at the end of the road when you look back, how it was all connected, and how through everything you went through, all those little nudges that you got to do random things were actually the universe nudging you in the right direction. I feel like there's a lot of divine protection and like overseeing, like the divine is watching over this connection. And I feel like your desired outcome is strongly protected, and it doesn't need to be forced. Any actions that you may take, like out of fear or because you panicked or because you were desperate, again, they're not going to backfire. They're not going to like set you back. They just won't do anything. That's kind of the feeling. So maybe there's a lot of divine timing involved in this journey as well. But you definitely don't have to worry about like messing things up. I don't think that's really possible unless you did something wildly out of character, which I don't think you will. So, oh, interesting. I was gonna do bottom of the deck for this part, but I just instinctively started shuffling. So maybe we need to just shuffle and get one more card for you guys. We have Temperance, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Five of Swords. Temperance made me think of a divine plan. It made me think of, again, like the long haul, the grand scheme of things. I feel like this is your journey with this person is unique in that it's a long journey. And I feel like the Five of Swords here is saying sometimes, oh, we also have the Three of Swords. So I was gonna say, and now my ears are ringing. Whoa. Sometimes you might not like how this journey is progressing. You might feel like you're kind of fighting with the universe or fighting with, you know, the pace that things are moving. And then when I saw the Three of Swords, immediately I was like, oh, it's a wounded part of you that doesn't like the way things are going. Like, look at this little baby lamb. It looks like a childhood wound. So I feel like there's an opportunity within this connection for massive healing of childhood wounds. And I'm feeling a big wave of emotion when I say that. So on one hand, this connection could like bring up childhood wounds, but not in a way where it's, is the expression salt in the wound, like when you're making things worse? Not in that way. But in the way we're bringing these up so there's a chance to heal them. Look at this rain falling on the dry, cracked land. Like, it's going to restore it. It's going to nourish it. It's going to heal it. This is a very healing connection, but healing is not always comfortable. I'm literally thinking of when a wound is healing and it's like super itchy. That's not comfortable, but it's a sign of healing. And I'm also even thinking of pain as an example because, you know, there's a certain type of soreness that you feel in your body that you're like, oh, this is a sign that my muscles are recovering and I'm getting stronger. And then there's another type of pain where you're like, oh, I have an injury. So I feel like, and this is a long journey, and at some points in the journey, there will be pain and there will be discomfort. But if you observe it with discernment, I feel like you'll find, and you really have to use your discernment here. Don't take my word for it. But based on what I'm seeing here, you may find that this pain and discomfort is actually that of healing. It's like childhood wounds or old wounds coming up with the chance of healing. And I definitely feel like there's some things, ooh, this is making me really emotional. It's like there's some things in this journey that your guides are saying, like, we promise you will understand. We promise you will understand. At the end of the journey, when you're with your divine counterpart, you will understand what you went through, and not just get the answers that you were seeking, but I also feel like you'd understand why you couldn't have known that information at that time, or why like it wouldn't have made sense at that time. Yeah. But I feel like at the end of this journey, there will just be like a profound understanding and gratitude for what has happened. Your advice is, these two cards just fell out onto my lap. Queen of Pentacles and Page of Swords. I feel like with these cards together, you know, swords represents your mind, and pentacles represents like the physical reality. At least that's how I'm perceiving it here. And so we have a situation where the mind is going faster than the 3D reality. And maybe the mind, I also want to say like a mind that is less mature than your soul, which I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like your soul is wiser. And so you may have kind of an inner conflict sometimes where your soul is like accepting and understanding of certain divine plans in your life. And then your mind is feeling impatient or feeling like frustrated at things it doesn't understand. And I just feel your guides saying like, trust that, whoa, okay. Your guides just said, trust that all will be revealed. And then I saw a light. It was like a round light in that light blue color. And then when your guide said all will be revealed, the light blue color changed into like a deep dark blue. I don't know. It was like the energy was getting thicker and richer. It was showing like maturation, the color getting darker from light blue to dark blue. It was like getting more mature. And there was this message, all will be revealed. I also heard like nothing is for nothing, meaning none of your experiences will be for nothing. There is a reason for everything. And you wouldn't be going through this experience just because, or like just because some higher power felt like it. There is a very deliberate reason, like for growth and healing and for lessons. That's why we incarnate. I know we're often like sick of lessons, but you know, and some incarnations are easier than others and some are harder than others, but they all have lessons. And I'm sure that there's been some confusing ones. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the pain comes from confusion. Confusion, or yeah, like feeling in the dark, feeling like you don't understand circumstances out of your control. The messages just abruptly stopped there, so I'm gonna trust that was everything you needed to hear over here. And then I've been writing these little lists for the extended, and they're different for every group based on what we see here. And some really sweet things just came through for you. So one of them is, what would they say or what would they do if these obstacles weren't present? And then their perfect day with you. So the way it came through was like kind of asking them or their higher self to describe what their ideal day with you would be. Like, what would you guys do? How would you spend the day together in their perfect world? I thought that was really sweet. And then we will look at time frames, places, and signs and synchronicities that are significant to this connection. I just saw 4114, like a mirroring number. Oh, and we were just talking about signs and synchronicities. So speaking of that, I'm gonna write that here, 4114, or any kind of like mirroring number could be significant. But yeah, if this sounds good to you and you'd like to join me in the extended, that's going to be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. There will be an option to watch just this reading or a monthly membership where you can watch all of the extended readings that go up every month. If you are considering that option, I just ask that you read the description for each of the membership levels so you know exactly what you're getting. But I'm super grateful to everyone who considers that option. If you're gonna leave the reading here, thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have linked down below my Instagram, my memberships, which I just mentioned. You can watch the extendeds that go up every month. And we also have exclusive full-length pick a card readings for the members. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And if you happen to be in Tokyo on March 19th, you can come see me at Or Tokyo in Shibuya. I'm gonna be DJing there and just like hanging out there before and after my set. So if you wanted to come say hi and hang out, I will be there. You can send me a DM and I will share the event details with you. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, your person, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual teams, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.